Summit for 2018. I'm Clayton Wood, one of your hosts, and I'm excited to be here today. There's been a ton of content jammed into all one day, and we're not done. We're really excited to cover all of these different growth marketing topics. And today I've got a very special guest. Before I introduce her, I'd just like to make sure that everybody is in the system here, in the right session. Give me a thumbs up or a smiley face if you can see us and hear us, and that'll let us know. Yeah, it looks like people are talking to you already. All right, great. So where's everybody joining us from? Tell us where you're joining us from. And Virginia, how are you today?
I'm good, Clayton. How are you?
Excellent. It's been a really exciting day. I think Vasil and I will sleep good tonight. That's for sure.
You
Uh,
should. This has been
we're,
amazing.
we're excited to have you talk about B2B Big Four. So, for those of you that don't know Virginia, she's the director of content marketing at Mobile Monkey. Today, she's going to talk about growth hacking the Big Four, which is email, webinars, ads, and content. So, this is going to be a focus on these main areas. If you've heard of Mobile Monkey or if you've interacted with the brand before, she's probably been responsible for the ads that you see or the chatbot messages that go out. Virginia, I'll let you take it away. We've got about 30 minutes. I'm sure folks will have questions, so let's see how it goes.
All right, I'll try to run through all this. Thank you for the wonderful introduction, Clayton. And Jim, I saw your message. Yes, I am 100% charged. My computer's charged, and I'm hooked up to a landline Ethernet connection. So, I think I've got all the bases covered this time.
That's great. Well, while you're sharing your screen there, welcome to wow, Gary gets the long distance award from Australia, Cleveland, Tennessee here, Clayton. Matt, I'm going to Nashville in a couple of weeks. I love Tennessee. Boise, Idaho, Canada, California. Awesome. Okay, cool. So it looks like I'll turn it over to you then. We can see your screen perfectly.
Okay, great. So, like Clayton mentioned, this session is all about growth hacking the B2B Big Four. And by the Big Four, I kind of made that up, but we'll talk about email, webinars, Facebook ads, and content. And these are the tools of the trade for any B2B marketer. We use these every day. And wouldn't it be awesome if we could actually make them more effective for us? Well, the hacks that I will share here are going to actually do that for you in 2019. So, first, before we get started, why are you even listening to me? Uh, I'm the content marketing director at Mobile Monkey. And if I'm perfectly honest, I'm on the hook for intimidating growth stats every quarter. You're probably in a similar boat, like you've got to grow leads 20 to 30%. Well, I kid you not, working for Larry Kim, he's a genius, no doubt. But it's always a bigger and grander hack that you get to execute. And we've seen 50 to 80% quarterly growth. So that's the kinds of intimidating growth stats that I'm talking about. But the thing is, there's actually tactics that you can use so that you can get there. Um, and like I said, Larry's a genius and I'm just a normal marketer. I work really hard. I'm a mom. I try, to meet these goals, but they're really lofty. But here's my wacky family. We like to get dressed up for Halloween. We're pretty nerdy, but we like to have fun. But the everyday, as a marketer, we're growing our email lists. We're trying to get up, raise our webinar attendance, get better performance for our ad spend, and get more traffic to our websites, all in the effort to get more leads and more signups. This is what we do every single day. So wouldn't it be nice if I told you that next year what you're going to do is you're going to change your standard implementation tactics, and that's going to help you. Just these hacks alone will help you reach that 20 to 30% growth mark next year. The big secret here, what's powering all of this, is Facebook Messenger marketing with chatbots. And the tips that I'm going to share with you are super duper tactical. They're stuff that you can just implement, update your tactics basically. And just for fun, I'm going to set them to the tune of my wacky family. to kind of give us like a hook and figure out what we're all talking about here. This is a hilarious gif from a show called Arrested Development, and that is probably the wackiest family ever. But the point is, we love our family. They are amazing, and but they do all have their quirks and maybe things that you wish you could change from time to time, right? So here, for example, Kooky Granny, aka our email hacks. Who doesn't love Dear Grandma? But if we're being honest, she's been around for a long time. She's not always the most with it. And sometimes she can be found talking to herself. Like my own grandmother, she'll go on a conversation for like, 10 minutes, and I'm just like trying to piece all of the things together to almost kind of follow what she's saying. I love her to death. But what does this have to do with marketing? Okay, with email, the analogy here is the tech is aging. Email is not as effective as it was 10 years ago, if we take a look at the stats to prove it. And when it comes to all of the obstacles that you have to go through, spam filters and promotion tabs, you're basically lucky if you're getting a 20% open rate and a 1% click through rate. Those are your standard email marketing problems. So just to kind of, highlight our average open rate in email marketing for B2B is 22%. According to this report, the average click-through rate is 4%, what I think is kind of inflated from my experience anyway. But how do we do it better with bots? We can actually hack blasts if we use Facebook Messenger chatbots. And on the left is some real personal open rate statistics for our email list, and on the right is, by contrast, the open rates and click-through rates, response rates for our chat blasts, and we're talking about 3 to 10 times greater read rate and 10 to 20 times better click rates. That 19% response rate on the chat blasts, that's 60 times more engagement. So I want you to take away, these actual tips that you can do right now. There's 2 hacks that you can do to get a little less granny in your blasting activity. Um, Send out chat blasts. They're the ultimate and mobile friendly. It's been a while that we've understood that people use their phones primarily, and including apps too, to navigate the web. And so in Messenger, your blasts are the ultimate and mobile friendly. You never have to worry about a landing page that's going to fit mobile or be responsive, forms that could break, or like not fit on the page. Like that's not an issue in a chat blast. And so if you want to experience one for yourself, check it out with this short link here. You can also do the hack of drip campaigns in chat. Everybody relies on their email automations to kind of welcome new leads in, new contacts, continue them down the funnel, send them engaging content. But the most engaging content of all is what you can send in Messenger, like these click buttons that people can use to respond to your bot, to engage with you, to send you information that you use to later down the line send follow-up messaging. That's priceless stuff. So if you want to see what drip campaigns are like in Messenger, you can test them out with this little example here. And so now we'll move on to our well-meaning mother-in-law, aka webinar hacks. I don't know if your mom-in-law is anything like mine or the one from Everybody Loves Raymond, but she sure got a whole lot of rules. So like, if she's hosting like dinner, like if you're not there exactly on time sharp, you're gonna hear it. Or I have to put my filters on if depending on what I'm gonna say, Like the other thing also about mother-in-laws, at least the stereotypes on TV, they have a bad habit of showing up unannounced. So, by analogy, this is kind of like our webinar problems. They take a lot of prep and production. They're a really high overhead kind of piece of content that we do. But then it really sucks when nobody shows up. And that's actually not very uncommon. If you take a look here, 66% of webinars have less than 50 attendees. That's pretty painful for how much work you do to put your presentation together. And 37% is the average attendance rate for marketing webinars, according to the source that's linked to here. So let's go ahead and hack webinars with bots, and I'll show you a real before and after. before we started using messenger bots to promote our webinars. This was a webinar done in May. um, Larry presented the top hacks for messenger marketing, and we got between somewhere in the mid 300s range for registrants, and the attendance rate, I'm sorry to say, was 12%, which seems a lot lower than that industry average. I don't know, who knows what um, how we compare, but the good news is that we got a lot more registrants, and we improved our attendance rate a ton when we use messenger bots for our promotion activity. So check this out. In September, I had a webinar and we got 600 registrants. So that's definitely, 2x there. And our attendance rate was almost double as well. And the key here is that there's two hacks that I'm going to tell you to do for your webinar promotions to get more signups and more attendees. Basically, a little less mother-in-law in your webinar marketing. Replace your registration webpage with a messenger experience instead. And like I said, this is the ultimate in mobile friendly. Those landing pages that you have for your webinar registrations are key. Obviously, it's how you collect all of the information for your new lead. And it can actually be so much more simplified, very mobile friendly. And I will tell you what, it's literally just tap your email address to sign up, and it's actually pre-populated by Facebook, which is very convenient. If you want to see what signing up for a webinar in a chat interface is like, then check out this short link. And I made it up. It's not actually a real webinar. It's happening on Femember 32nd. So, Um, and then the second hack is to use your messenger chatbot to send a reminder when the event is about to happen. It's push notifications basically. So, how much better is it than getting an email in your inbox and it's going to sit there and who knows if they're going to get it or when they'll open it in time and that kind of thing. Instead, if you send a reminder that the webinar is about to start in Messenger, then you get a push notification to your registrant's phone, and they're much more likely to join on time. So there you go. If you want to see what that looks like yourself, there's a short link for you. All right. So the next one, I feel like I'm going really fast here. But the next one is our screaming Spitfires. And basically, I'm going to relate this to our Facebook ad hacks. Spitfires, I'm talking about your little hellions. I love them. I love my 4-year-old, but she's definitely a 4-year-old. So the thing between kids, the thing that we, wish, those quirks that drive us crazy about our kids are, damn, they're expensive. And yes, they are high maintenance. And just because they turn 18 doesn't mean that they stop being high maintenance. And, maybe this is a bad reflection on me as a parent, but, I'm always looking for the next babysitter and if my mom can watch her. And so or when the next sleepover is, it's kind of a constant crusade to pawn them off to new people. Oh man, that was a funny GIF. Okay, it was a little girl who was saying the darndest thing, right? So the the other day I was at the grocery store and my daughter and I are in line and there's a cart behind us of two kids, both probably under 6. And the mom was there, like forlorn because the kids were jumping up and down like totally rambunctious, like screaming and yelling. And my heart goes out to her. I feel for her, like I've been there. You know, I'm sorry that this is your life right now. And then my daughter, she looks at the kids and she puts her hands on her hips and she says, "What in the world?" Like, okay, now my daughter is parent shaming, apparently. And as if that wasn't you, like 5 minutes ago. So that was a really fun story about my daughter. So by analogy, our kids, oh no, our Facebook ads, yeah, they're damn expensive. And you're always having to come up with that new creative because that ad fatigue sets in. And as your frequency goes up, you want to kind of freshen things up so that people aren't just getting tired of your ads and the performance starts dropping. Or, you're looking for a new audience, like what's the next remarketing list you can get, or can you, create a new custom audience, or um, new ways of targeting interests and behaviors, just like always on that grind. Not that I have like a solution for that, but I can talk about the price of your Facebook ads and how we can hack that with bots. So the over the last year in 2017, the average newsfeed ad CPMs doubled. They were 12.87 at the end of the year, and they had been like under $6 before that in the first quarter of 2017. So that's pretty painful for CPMs. And then also cost per clicks doubled over the course of last year. And so we feel the pain of that, the real pain of that in how we're seeing ad prices for Facebook ads go up. And I hear it all the time in communities of Facebook marketers. So let's hack Facebook ads with bots, okay? This is a real life campaign that I've run at Mobile Monkey, and this is before and after bots. Before Messenger, we were paying $4.51 per click, and if you do the math, your average website converts at 2%, and then the cost per acquisition, kind of equals over $200. So in this particular campaign, if you do that 2% conversion rate and calculate it all out, you're paying like $250 for an acquisition. On the other hand, hallelujah, if you're using messages as your campaign objective, then you're sending people to your messenger experience, and you actually collect the name and get a direct line of contact that you can use for follow-up messaging for an average of $3 to $6 a lead. So that is a much more attractive CPA if you ask me. So the things that you can do immediately to help you stop pulling out your hair is to switch to the messages campaign objective in Facebook ads. And that way you're going to be saying goodbye to anonymous site traffic, and you can send follow-up messaging to your leads because now they are actually a lead. They're a contact that you can follow up with, can continue nurturing, and you can get the formula for how we did it, how we hacked Facebook ads for 95% better CPAs with this little link here. And on the right is a graph of our growth rate for our messenger contacts. A lot of that is driven by Facebook ads. So the last hack that we'll talk about here is your beloved ball and chain, aka our content hacks. Who doesn't love their other half? Together, you kind of make the glue to the family. Content marketing is the glue for all of your B2B marketing efforts. I'm assuming it is for me anyway. However, if we're being honest, there are some things that aren't so awesome, such as that honeydew list keeps growing. How many times do you have to ask to change the light bulb or whatever? Like I've even given up. Like I don't I don't even have a honeydew list because it's just easier, whatever. Girls can do honeydew stuff too. The romance doesn't stay alive by itself. I mean, this is a constant effort, obviously, to just keep feeding the romance, and knowing that you're in it for the long haul is something that, helps motivate you, but it sure does feel like a grind sometimes. So, on by analogy, we can talk about content marketing. Sometimes you're just wondering, hey, is anybody listening to me? And just because you write it, that awesome blog post that you invested all of your time into, actually, I think it's 3.5 hours is considered the average length of time that a B2B marketer spends on blog posts. For me, it's much more. But just because you're, investing in this labor of love doesn't mean that anyone's going to read it. And unfortunately, traffic is not just a switch that you can turn on. You're in it for like I said, in it for the long haul. You're investing in this content, but wouldn't it be awesome to get more people to see it? And we're just, kind of stuck where we are right now with a 20% open rate in email. Um, if we're lucky enough to get the top spot, the very top spot in organic search, then we'll also get a 20% click-through rate. And then Facebook news feed, don't even talk about it. Like, don't expect people, even your fans and your followers, to see this with a 1% engagement rate. But here's how we can hack our content marketing with messenger bots. And I'm going to call this a little couples therapy so that everybody's relationship with their content is a little bit stronger at the end of this. The first thing we do is we admit that we're reliant on email as our communication layer. You have our marketing stacks. We have, Facebook or search ads at the top, and we're funneling people. Our top of funnel leads get funneled down into email, and we're hoping to like create that connection and continue nurturing the lead. And all of this is reliant on email as the communication layer. But I'm telling you that there's a better way, and that is, of course, the sublimely mobile friendly messenger bot. So we're trying to get attention in that inbox all the time, but mobile is the most important or the most common way of people interacting on the web today, right? So there are so many stories of how people can adapt their efforts and campaigns and stuff to mobile, but using messenger bots is very tactical and it's very actionable and it's very right now. It's also the ultimate in conversational, because I think that's the way that we've adapted, right? As users, as consumers, as people, we are looking to have conversations, and in Messenger, it's much more conversational and it's a lot more engaging. And but the bottom line here is that it lines up with people use and prefer today. If you're slow to um, adopt new technologies or new platforms as they become available, I get it. You might kind of want to hedge your bets or see how it pans out, or, see if things are really like going that way before you go all in on a new channel that has a learning curve and requires resources. But the thing is, the time is now for bots. It's like we've been talking about, you get a competitive advantage if you use Messenger for a while, but it's becoming so commonplace that it's just something that it's a it would behoove you to jump into, and so then you'll be able to do this little happy dance with your content, right, as you're getting more eyeballs and more engagement than you can with the traditional marketing stack that you're using right now. So that's it for me. If you want to get these slides, you can get them here. It is going to be a messenger experience, of course. And if you want to replay this session as well as all of the summit sessions from today, you also get 3 months of Mobile Monkey Pro when you upgrade your summit pass to an all access pass.
Yep, that's right. So everybody that's listening to us today is at least a free registrant, somebody that's registered for free. If you want to get all of the content and Mobile Monkey, buy the All Access Pass. There's a big green button down underneath Virginia and I's live stream. It says Get All Access Pass. It shows you everything that you're going to get on it, and we think it's a steal. It's really good value. People pay tons of money just to see just a few or a handful of these speakers that have been with us today, live and virtually. So get your all access pass if you haven't gotten it, and get into Mobile Monkey. This is one of the reasons why Larry and Virginia and Vasile and I wanted to do this, because we're so obsessed with sharing lots of value and sharing what works. And just like Larry was able to do that with WordStream years ago, he's doing it now with Mobile Monkey. And this is where all of the conversion and all of the CTR is. So if you're not on the chatbot train, get on it. All right, we've got a couple of minutes for questions. The top one is about B2B clients. Have you done any B2B work? And what sort of advice can you give folks that are doing chat blasts with B2B clients?
All right, let's see. Yes, I've done B2B work. I'm going to put my slides in the chat there because I saw some requests for it.
Cool.
Mobile Monkey is, of course, B2B SaaS. So we rely heavily on content marketing as a tool for kind of, educating our audience about how this solution basically makes their lives better. It's great to be able to work for a business that you really have seen results from and believe in. Of course, not everybody feels passionately about what they're doing, but that's why, you've got these tools and they help reach people. And that's, I use our email platform every day. I have, like all these processes for basically like getting the most effectiveness out of email marketing, content marketing, chat marketing, and webinars, etc. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got time for one more. If we didn't get to your questions, we're so sorry. Um, Maybe Virginia will tell us how to tweet to her or email her with follow-up questions. She's a great marketer. But I think a couple of people asked, and it's pretty obvious, but let's talk about it. Let's address it. Are Mobile Monkey landing pages mobile friendly? I've heard a number of people asking this.
Really? Oh, how interesting.
I
Cool.
saw you say it in the chat, or in the presentation, super mobile friendly.
So the thing that's really there are actually a feature in Mobile Monkey that's landing pages. Um, you can use those if like if the developer is maybe it's a little hard based on your CMS to get new pages up and you want to do something like that. Landing pages is a good way to kind of make new messenger contacts. But what I usually do is I send people straight to the messenger experience. And so if you chat with people on Messenger, it's like a text message, it's like just back and forth
Yeah.
and it's just a conversation. So um, just there's a most people have the Messenger app on their phone. There's over 1 billion people that use Messenger, so it's a great way to kind of reach customers. Your own customers are there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm seeing some really great feedback from people that are saying they're new and they love your attitude and your analogies during the presentation. So that's some fun feedback. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. I'm sorry we don't have time for more questions. Where can folks
Great.
reach out if they want to get their question answered from you?
Yes, I love to answer your questions. Just tweet me at Virginia Nussey.
Okay, sounds good. Virginia, thank you so much. We'll see you
Thank
again
you,
soon.
Clayton. All right, see y'all later.
All right. So we're not done here. The next session is coming up in 1 minute. Thank you for all of the kind words. And thanks to Virginia for showing us a little bit about how Mobile Monkey itself approaches marketing. And again, if you want to collect all of these sessions and watch them as many times as you want, get the all access pass. It's right down under this screen. All right, so now we've got a very special presentation coming up with Vasile hosting it. I'm gonna take you all over to that session if you'll just hold on tight.